Hello, my name is Sivan Adler and this is CycleSource. This was my final solo project during my time at the Flatiron School. CycleSource is a web application that I built that allows you to find and book spin classes in your area. Right now we're on the home page, so we can just log in. We can log in either as a rider or an instructor. Each of these users have different authorizations, and I'll start off with the rider. So now we're in as a rider. We can see all of the things that a rider can do. We can search for different studios in our area. When we click that, we'll get to a Google Maps component that's actually rendering pins for each location and each studio. And if we click a pin, it will tell us the name of the studio and its location. In this search box, we can also see different cards that are rendering for each studio's location. Each studio has a rating that's generated by its reviews and some more information about its location. We can also search specifically by a name of a studio, and when we do that, the pins on the map will only render for that specific studio, and the cards will also only render for that specific studio. And if we click this arrow, we'll see more information about that studio. We'll get all of its locations again, and here we'll see all of their reviews that have been posted by different users. Here is where the ratings are generated on the map. Each user's review has a rating and it's averaged out to give an average rating. We can also post a review if we'd like, and we can see more information about all of the instructors that teach at this studio. So we can click on one of the instructors and be taken to their page, and we can see a little bit of information about their profile. We can also see some reviews that have been posted by other users, and again, we can post another review here. And we can see below there's a calendar that's rendering all of their weekly classes. I used React Big Calendar for this calendar component, and it's rendering classes for the specific date and time of the class. So a user can either book a class straight through here, or they can go to this Reserve tab and see all of the classes for all of the studios. So as you can tell, here are all the classes that are available for this week. We can see them either by specifically doing it for each studio, filtering by name, or we can just see the entire schedule. And if we're interested in booking a class, we can choose one and see a little more information about it and hit reserve. And here's the map of all the bikes. Right now there are no other users that are reserved for this class, so I can choose any bike I'd like. And when I book that, I'm officially booked for that specific bike, bike 8. Another cool feature that I was able to implement was to send confirmation text message notifications using Twilio. So upon booking a spin class, you will receive a text message that gives the specific information, location, and bike for that class that you just booked. Of course, I can't show that on the recording since my phone does not go on the screen, but that was a really fun feature to build out. So now I've booked this spin class. Another cool feature that I built out was that I wanted to make sure that when a user booked a spin class that they couldn't actually book it again. So if I click on a class that I'm already reserved for, I'll get this notice. You're already signed up, and it will tell me the bike that I'm signed up on. So if I'd like, I can actually just change my bike. So as you can see, I was booked on bike 6. So I can change my bike to any of the available bikes. These grayed out bikes are reserved by other users, so I can't actually reserve them. So any of these bikes that are able to be highlighted, I can change to those bikes. So if I click number 8, that's available, and I've officially changed my bike. And I'll also get a text message notification via Twilio to remind me that I've changed my bike. A user can also see their profile, and this is where they can see all of the classes that they are booked for. So here we can look at all of the classes. Again, we can change our bike, or we can cancel the class and it will immediately be removed. We can also see our favorites. So you can either favorite a studio or an instructor to keep track of all of the nice instructors and studios that you've enjoyed. And that's the basic functionality for a rider. So let me log out and show you what an instructor is able to do. Okay, so now we're logged in as an instructor, and as you can tell immediately, the instructor can do a little bit less than an average rider can. So the main thing that an instructor doesn't have access to is to reserve a bike. They're not actually able to reserve a spin class, but the main thing that they can do in their profile is see their class lists. So when an instructor has classes on the schedule, they will show up in here, and it will render all of the names of the users that are signed up for that class and whatever bike that they're already reserved on. So this is just a way for instructors to keep track of how full their class is, maybe to see if their usual riders are coming, and just maintain their class schedule. Instructors do have the ability to search, and they can also view the page of a studio, but they just can't review it. So it was interesting putting different authorizations on different users, figuring out how to make sure all the functionality still worked, and give people access to the information that they need. Another one of the main things that I was able to do was that you can see a lot of images that are being shown on the page, and I was able to use Amazon Web Services to host all of my images so that they're hosted on the cloud, and any user can, when they sign up, they can also choose a profile photo, which I'll show here. You can just do that. And that photo will also be hosted on Amazon Web Services. So that was a really interesting technology to figure out and understand how it works and implement it into my project. So this was a really fun project to build out. I had a lot of fun figuring out all of these different components and figuring out how to do text message reminders and a lot of other things that I was really interested in. So I hope that you enjoyed watching. I definitely enjoyed making it. Thanks so much.